Well, Ed, let's take a tour of the workshop.
Okay. It's basically, when I rented this space, it's about 1,000 square feet on the floor, and I built this room, and that's my climate-controlled assembly room, and where the guitars stay until they're completed. I have a number of woodworking machines. They're all pretty non-specific to guitar making. They're just general woodworking machinery, and big thickness sander, joiners, table saws.
Let's go take a little walk around here.
Yeah. This sander's for working on nuts and saddles, and another little mini thickness sander. I put nut blanks through there, and it gets them right to right thickness. And even small pieces of wood, it'll bring down pretty accurately. And this is a thickness sander. It's got big drums and a big bell. It's actually a handmade one. This guy up in Seattle used to make them and sell them. And it's real basic, and
you put your tops on there?
Yeah, all the tops and backs and bracing and everything. This I do the more rough work on. I have this other Performax machine. That's a drum sander, and that does, when I'm making my purfling strips, like I'll cut a bunch of holly veneers off a board, and then you want to thickness those as precisionally as possible. Mm-hmm. And that machine is a hard to surface, and you can go down to 10 thousandths or less thickness, and they're perfectly uniform. And so when you laminate them up, the purflings are all the same width, and they fit the purfling channel perfectly.
What's that machine next to the bicycle?
That's a bicycle. That's a ladder. Fold-up ladder? Is that
No. The thing on the black legs.
Oh, that's the thickness sander.
Oh, okay.
It's got some drums in it, a conveyor belt that pulls the wood through. This is just a wood planer. It's got cutter knives that you plane lumber down with.
So any cabinet maker would recognize all this stuff?
Yes, every cabinet maker has the same, any woodworker has the same machinery.
Are there machines that are used for making guitars?
Yeah, there's more like jigs and fixtures. There's a kind of some industry standards for side bending machines, like Charles Fox, who's an old-time luthier, designed a side bending machine. It's probably one in every guitar maker shop in the world, and in some factories too, for instance. And then there's another machine that holds a router vertical, and it rides up and down on a bearing, and that's what you use to cut the binding ledges on the perimeter of a guitar body. And that was designed by another guitar maker, well-known guitar maker. And you can buy plans for them, and everybody buys them, and they work perfectly. And they're very simple.
How do you
cut
the slots for the frets?
I do it on this table saw, and I have a circular fret saw that's 23 thousandths of an inch thick. And I made a carriage that you put in these slots, and you can't really see, it's this jig back here. You can buy these plexiglass threading templates that are CNC machined out, and they're very accurate. And there's a registration pin that fits in here. And so basically, you have your jig there, and there'll be a pin, and the fingerboards here. And you cut a slot, bring it back, and you move it over, and you just keep moving it over, and they're very accurate. And it's so I'll do like 20 fingerboards at once by the time you set everything up, and then you got a bunch. And but you always get somebody that wants a different scale length, so then you got to come back and make one fingerboard. It's kind of a hassle. But as part of the package, you get whatever you want.
That's
width,
good.
neck shape, thickness.
Well, that's great. All of us players always wonder
Yeah,
how those frets get there in the right spot.
Yeah. There's a lot of steps to doing this, and again, I don't buy pre-made fingerboards like a lot of people do. I've got my African fingerboard ebony is just the best you can get. It's all perfectly straight, quarter sawn black wood that I cut from small log billets of wood and seasoned them over 5 years. So just to get one fingerboard, there's like 8 steps to season them, and it takes a number of years, and then they have to be resawn and then stickered and everything. And then by the time you get around to making the fingerboards, you've already got a bunch of time just nurturing this stack of wood. And if the wood is perfect wood, straight and quarter sawn, then it's worth doing that. Whereas if you buy off-the-shelf parts made in China, I don't know where people get them, but they get them. You're probably not getting as good a material as So.
Well, you certainly do it as you talked about before, the classical way.
Yeah, because I like to control every aspect of it. The only thing I don't make are my bridge pins and the tuners and the strings, I guess. Everything else is made in-house.
Well, that's great. Thanks a lot, Ed.